Hi, I'm Carol.
Hi, my name's Bob Stedman.
And are you wanted by the police? No.
Under a different name, maybe.
Yeah.
But
And a guard dog at that.
Oh, yeah, real guard.
we met back a number of years ago when we had a church young people's group.
High school.
And Carol happened to be the leader. And I instantaneously appreciated the forthright nature that she had, the leadership, the strength that she demonstrated, and piqued my interest in terms of a brash and jerky type of teenager who did things that would probably repel her versus attract her. But
we dated for 7 years before we married. We both went on to university. University was hard for me. I struggled, and so I could always call him. And he said it's okay, and he liked me for that reason. So we just had a long friendship. So even after we graduated, we started our own careers. We got married, and Bob decided to do his master's after we were married. So we moved, and I ended up becoming a financial planner. We decided to go to Toronto. He had now finished his master's. We went to Toronto. I started teaching at Sheridan College. I taught business math in the business department.
I decided to go back to school to do my master's in business to raise the profile a bit and up the game. I realized that the importance of strategic and integral business information to making business decisions, since the information had to be integral, which means you had to be able to rely on it, so it had to be secured, it had to be controlled. And that's where I get into the information security game, was how do you protect and control business information for companies as they go forward.
It was a year ago that I had a pain on my right side, and I don't have pain. So I just thought it either will get better or it will get worse. So after a few days, it was still there. It was still just kind of nudging me. I just thought, I bet you it's my appendix, and I should get this looked at because I don't want anything to happen with my appendix. So I thought I'll make a doctor's appointment, and that's how it started. I went, and it's not sure, let's do an ultrasound. And I knew that it was not my appendix because I was in a little discomfort in having an ultrasound. In the ultrasound, it showed that I have a cyst in my near or on my ovary. They couldn't describe it. So from that, they did a CT scan, and that's when they said there's a solid part to this cyst, and there's fluid, and because it's solid, that's not good. There's a test, CA-125 test, that will give a red flag if it has to do with ovarian cancer. So having these tests, I was referred to my gynecologist, sat us down and said, listen, I've already made arrangements, I can't see you, you're going to go to Princess Margaret, you're going to have surgery, you got to get that out of you. And I kind of said, no, I don't need to go to Princess Margaret, it's not, you can't prove it's cancer, and you do it. Let me be here in Oakville and have it here. And no, because if it is cancer, you want an oncologist. So November 11th, I was in at Princess Margaret seeing my oncologist, gynecological oncologist surgeon, a lovely doctor. And she said, it's got to come out. Pretty sure it's cancer, but we don't know what kind. And we won't know till we go in. Everything moved really quick, which is hindsight wonderful. It kept me occupied. I didn't have too much time to think. And so December 5th, I had my surgery, and it was supposed to be a 2 to 3 hour surgery if it's just a contained mass. But if it's cancer, then the surgery is going to be much longer. They analyze in the surgery whether it's cancer. The pathologist tests it, and it came back cancerous. So my surgery ended up being 8 hours or so. So 6 weeks to recover from that. They touched every organ, liver, kidneys, parts I didn't even know I had. And I had to have chemo because they want to make sure that they've killed cells. I'm very blessed. I'm very fortunate. The type of cancer, ovarian cancer, has a terrible outcome, a terrible long-term survival rate. So it panics you a bit because I got a long way to live still, but I had a good kind, if there is a good kind, and very contained. And so my stage was I think it was stage 2, which is wonderful. Very few ovarian cancers are caught. They're usually stage 3 or 4. So I was very lucky. And so chemo is for a preventive measure. So I had chemo starting in January. I had 3 sessions of chemo. That seems to be the protocol now. They hit you hard. I will say it was extremely hard. And I reacted. I was allergic to one of the drugs. So my whole body reacted violently. Unbelievable pain that I've never had. I couldn't, my legs didn't work. I shed, my skin shed. I lost my hair. That's nothing, but the pain, I had no idea that chemo would cause so much pain. I got into a support group, and I guess it's quite common. I'm waiting for my 9-month post-treatment. They call it no evidence of disease, so it's all very good.
Well, when Carol first told me, it was shocking that what she was going to be going through, and I have to admit, your mind takes you places you don't want to go. But as I said before, when I first met her, she was a strong person. We both had faith, so we knew that it was going to be okay. And as she said, at the time it was just very troubling how quickly it went, but it was very good in hindsight that you didn't have time to think about it. But showing what a strong person she was. If you've seen our house and all the decorations, it was decorated before she had her surgery, December 5th. So she had, knowing what was coming up, she had already baked. She'd already decorations. She'd already done all those things.
Christmas presents.
So yeah, so she, she was strong, and I knew I needed to be strong, but I was going to be strong for her because, as she said, we're a team where we go through things together. She's been through things with me, I've been through things with her, and that's just the way that we operate. The doctors are very good at coming out and talking to the families and educating them and updating them, and but you can't help it over here. I wasn't eavesdropping, but you hear all the stories and it's like, wow, I can't believe what people are going through, and hearing about all those things that are going on, and all of these people are here for some element of surgery, and a lot of them cancer that is taking place. And
there's a transplant surgery taking place the same day.
Yeah, you run across people that come in and sit down. So I got to hear their stories, and as you're going through, and you check in when you first got there with the volunteers, so they know where you're sitting and vent that somebody's looking for you. And so I checked in early and sat there through the day, and people came and people went, and the hours are ticking by, and I very soon realized that it's cancer, and they're in there, and hopefully they're doing what they can to get her through it. Had an interesting phone call that day at the same time that I got severed from my work that I was working at. And so that was certainly something I wasn't also anticipating having to deal with, because I had taken a vacation day to be with Carol on her surgery. So that sort of added to the intrigue and the stress of the day. But put that behind me. It was all about her, and so I waited. Every time the volunteer shift changed, I would check in with a new volunteer, let them know where I was. Finally, the last volunteer shift came in about 6:30 or so at night, and so I had a chat with her. She was a university student, found out about her and volunteering, and it came a time where I was the only person left, and she came to inform me that she's going to have to leave for the night. So no one had come in the interim. I guess the good news is that the surgeons were had made the right choice. Carol had joked with them when going into it, you have to give permission for certain things that, in the event that they have to cut the colon or do certain things.
They were preparing me that my bowel was going to be affected. I could have a resection or whatever. So you're prepared for the worst, and
Carol kept saying, "Oh yeah, but you're not going to have to. It's going to be fine." They said, "But you are acknowledging it." They made sure she was acknowledging it. So you're thinking about all these things as you're waiting there, all this, and it turned out the good news was that she was healthy more or less inside, aside from the cancer, and when they were in, it was attached to other organs, and they had made the conscious decision as a team to take their time and dissect it and get it removed entirely without affecting anything else. So again, we were blessed that that was good news, and the doctor came back to me when they were done and sat down beside me, held my hand, and walked me through the entire process and said, we did our best, and here's what we did, and prognosis is good in the sense that we've got it out as a solid, so it hasn't spread, and there's we've taken out lymph nodes and everything else, and nothing else. There was no other signs of evidence of disease anywhere else, so it was all good. I was there for her when she came out of her groggy state, to let her know that I was there and she was fine. And then when she got transferred to her room again to go up there prior to me, I stayed at the hotel that night so I could make sure I get back again early for the next morning. So, yeah, it was just, she was the trooper to go through what she was. So it was just me to be there to support her. And
through chemo, you were there. You took over my role, and I couldn't have done it without you. I don't know how people are doing it with COVID, and I'm in a support group where there are some people still having chemo, and they're alone, and they can't have a person be with them. This COVID has been very, very hard on a lot of people, but my heart's going out to those that have to go in and have, especially if the chemo affects you. I couldn't have walked out of the hospital without you. I was so doped. They give you so many steroids and an anti-allergy IV. So, I fell asleep, but I don't remember many things. But in the household, as I said, the chemo wiped me out. And I was in so much pain. I just could barely get from the bedroom to the family room. And you did everything. You did everything else.
Basically, when she first got home, she was in bed, and her effort for the day would be to get up and get some comfortable clothes on and move to the chair that was 5 feet from her bed and sit in that and watch TV. But that wasn't an accomplishment because, it was major surgery. Basically, I said to Carol, she said, "How come I'm feeling this way?" I said, "Well, basically you were taken apart and put back together again. They ripped it wide open to look for everything, and read the report afterwards. They went from front to back and moved everything all around, and so yeah, it was pretty major. In terms of being severed that day, we always say that everything happens for a reason, and in hindsight, what that allowed me to do was to be home for Carol because she needed it. She's strong, but she said it was difficult to walk when she first got going. She, preparing meals, driving Ian still to school at that point in time. So all of those things, I was able to be here, and then follow-up appointments later. I was around.
We'd be in Princess Margaret, and I'd look at everyone there has cancer. Everyone there has cancer or is with someone with cancer, and we were more empathetic to everyone we saw. We saw someone our son's age there with his parents. It's not fair. We saw a very old, elderly lady with their daughter or granddaughter, and it's not nice. It's not nice, and you just you meet so many people. We just met. And you met people for a reason. My first chemo, you remember the lady that we met. I can't sit still, and I don't like waiting, but I'll always be late because I don't like waiting. And you're in a hospital, you have to wait. And the chemo, I was so nervous about my first time, and the waiting room was packed with people just getting chemo. And I don't know how many rooms they have. Every day, people are having chemo, and it just overwhelmed me. And I can't, I got to do this, but I don't want to see all this. And there was a lady, maybe in her late 30s, sitting there, and she said, "You must be new." I went, "Okay, yes." She said, "They're really good here." I said, "Well, I've been here 5 years." She's got 2 young children, and she's on a trial. And she just gave me some pointers. And that was remarkable. Never saw her again, but she was placed there for me to learn from her. And I think we've met a few people since. And, Bob would say, you did to them what somebody else has done to you. You've given them a pointer and said, it's okay. They're good here. You're going to be okay. Just remarkable people in this world. Remarkable people. I'm very open. I have a friend who's a photographer, and he came and took pictures when I was going through chemo. I can look at them now and I can't believe that was me. I don't remember it many times because they give you a lot of, it's like Benadryl and steroids, and you end up falling asleep a bit. But I'm in a support group, and they always say, someone new, what can you tell us? Everyone's journey is different. It's okay to be scared. Everyone is scared. But you do it day by day. And if day by day is too much, you take hour by hour. And find a support group, whether it's family, good friends. We had phenomenal friends. We haven't mentioned that either. We had phenomenal friends that would come and visit, bring meals, just gifts, a prayer shop. Like, it's amazing. And I was very humbled. This will make me tear. I had no idea the friendships I had. And that humbled me. So it's scary, and just take it day by day.
We're not crying the blues at all in terms of where we are. We're together, and it's good prognosis, and we're blessed that we're still together and we're here.
Dancing's life. It is. It is life. You can have a slow dance. You can have a fast dance, a long dance, or short dance.